From dogs to cats, college students from all around the country have always been gravitated towards these furry friends. But are college students educated on what it takes to be a full-time pet owner? Owning a pet can be a huge commitment, says UGA Rescue Paw's upcoming president and Athens-Clarke County Animal Services volunteer, Barsha Ramachanda.
Especially for students, it's really tempting, when you're in college to immediately want to adopt your first dog. And it's great. I think, a lot of students are fit to adopt dogs, but, obviously dogs are a long-term financial commitment, and you've just got to be able to make sure you can pay for vet bills and also, are stable enough to pay for anything that may not be expected.
Owning an animal can be a huge responsibility. So what is a healthy alternative for those in college looking to adopt but just aren't ready yet? Volunteer coordinator at the ACC Animal Services, Abby Sawyer, has the answer.
Well, I can go ahead and say this with confidence. If you are interested in a short-term investment animal, fostering is a fantastic alternative.
Fostering an animal consists of taking a rescued dog, cat, or any other animal home for a few days, weeks, or months, just until someone decides to adopt that particular animal. There are many advantages to fostering. First up is the cost.
So one of the big things about being ready to adopt versus being ready to foster is, I would say, financial commitment.
According to the American Pet Products Association, the average person spends well over $1,000 annually on their pet. But this is not the case for fostering. In fact, all supplies are given to you, and it is completely free of charge.
We provide all supplies necessary, so you don't even have to front any of the costs. At Athens-Clarke County Animal Services, we provide all fosters and foster animals, people and humans alike, all of the materials they need in order to foster. That might include medical supplies, if they need any medicine, a crate, food, bowls, carrier, litter box, litter, anything and everything we cover.
Current animal foster Sydney Ruggiero says this was one of the main reasons she chose to foster.
It's totally the shelter takes care of anything. If you want to go get, the only expense really is if you want to go get them extra toys or something like that. But other than that, they provide a crate if you want, all the food you need. Right now I need to get more food for Lacey, so I'll take that home with me. And they give you a couple toys when you first take them home, and they give you bowls and stuff for food and water.
Next is the flexible time commitment.
It's super flexible in terms of timing. It works great with a student schedule, so you can do more of a short term, which would just be, even a week or two, or you can do a more long-term foster, which can be weeks or months, depending on what you want to work with.
The ACC Animal Services will even hold on to your foster pet if you have an emergency, need to go home for the weekend, or are going to be traveling.
We do have lots of influxes of college students bringing animals back during any time that people traditionally travel. So spring break recently, we had a lot of animals come back just because students are going to travel, they have places to be, they're going to be out of town.
They are also extremely flexible on how long you would like to keep your foster animal. Even if you keep a foster dog for just one weekend, it can still tremendously help the facility.
We have either a short-term option or long-term option for fostering. You don't have to hold on to an animal until they're adopted. A lot of the times, if you just take an animal home over the weekend, especially if it is, say, a nervous dog, we can get a lot of information about that animal that might help us find a forever home for it.
Next is improvements in mental health. According to a 2017 report by the American College Health Association, college students report higher rates of stress, loneliness, anxiety, and depression. Studies have shown that pets increase people's levels of oxytocin, a hormone that reduces anxiety and lowers blood pressure by 300%.
Always nice to have, a dog laying on your bed ready to cuddle when you're stressed for an exam or have a lot of things to worry about. It's nice to just have the companion of an animal, especially for people that have pets at home and miss that connection a lot. It's a really nice, temporary, non-binding version of that connection.
It is also an extremely easy process. UGA student and 3-time foster Taylor Aiken says it was very simple to get a foster dog of her own.
Like, I pretty much just showed up to the shelter one day and was like, I want to foster, and they're like, here's everything you need.
You can also visit the shelter and meet the animals before fostering them to see which animal is right for you. The shelter makes personalized name cards informing potential fosters on the animal's personality. Lastly, fostering is rewarding, and it really does make a true difference.
Animals are greatly benefited by being in a foster home. Otherwise, they're going to spend their time while looking for a forever home here at our facility, where we have kennels, and we try to provide them with as much enrichment and exercise as possible. But in a home situation, it's going to be much calmer.
Overall, there are many benefits to fostering animals, whether it's adapting the animals to home life, freeing up space in the shelter, or just being able to give them extra one-on-one attention. Fosters are always needed, and this is especially true ever since the COVID-19 pandemic. UGA veterinary medicine student Michaela Mooney explains it as the puppy boom.
COVID definitely spiked the numbers for adoption rates, whether it be from shelters or breeders. So that caused breeders to jack up their prices almost by double in most cases. I think that a lot of people bought dogs because they were bored in quarantine, and during the whole pandemic, it has ended up becoming a problem.
People buy these animals, hang out with them all during quarantine, and when it's time to go back to the office, they don't know what to do with their pets. Many pets were abandoned, brought to shelters, or developed mental illnesses.
As people transition from work from home, going back into the office, they realize that their dogs have separation anxiety. I work in a vet clinic, and I think in the past 2 years, we've seen a lot more cases of stress-induced anxiety from these dogs that are so used to having their owners at home from the pandemic and everything. And so we've had to supply a lot more anxiety medications like trazodone, and just because these dogs weren't exposed really to what the real world is like.
According to the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, 6.3 million companion animals enter an animal shelter every year. That is over 17,000 animals a day. Animals all around the globe need your help in finding them a home. So if you are in college looking for that furry friend, research fostering or visit your local shelter for more information. This is Abby Walton.